Hi everybody. I'm trying something new today. I'm not going to use the camera because it takes up a lot of bandwidth when loading the files to YouTube. And I just appear as a small picture and you guys really don't need to see me. Y'all know what I look like. Every once in a while I'll do a little cameo or something. Okay, so today we're going to jump into the Yoga Sadhana of Patanjali, or the yoga, spiritual practice of yoga, according to Patanjali. What you're seeing now is I'm going to make this bigger so you can see it bigger. And let's see, how do I get the, view, and zoom, fit map. There we go. So this is the same chart we were looking at yesterday, except I've reorganized it. I think this is a little more visually pleasing. Yesterday we covered Vedanta, the road to perfect knowledge, the disturbances that occur along the way, the spiritual practice or means toward an intended goal, and the spiritual practice of Patanjali. I added into this graphic the 8 limbs of yoga. Remember, we covered those in a former session with a separate chart. And I also started mapping out the Yoga Sutras. And there are 4 chapters in the Yoga Sutras. There's the Samadhi Pada, Sadhana Pada. Samadhi is contemplation, Sadhana is practice. Vibhuti and Kaivalya. Kaivalya are the benefits. Vibhuti is, I'm not sure what Vibhuti and Kaivalya are, but we'll cover those soon enough. Today we're going to focus on an aspect of the Yoga Sadhana of Patanjali. And so you'll see that if I open this up, so let me read the paragraph that we're going to focus on, which is the first paragraph in this section, and it's very thick, so you'll see that you'll be happy. I'm just stopping at this first paragraph, so let's read it. The sadhana, spiritual practice, is a rhythmic 3-tiered practice, sadhana traya, covering the 8 aspects or petals of yoga in a capsule as Kriya Yoga, the yoga of action, whereby all actions are surrendered to the divinity. See Sutra 2.1 in the Sadhana Pada. These tiers, sadhana traya, represent the body, kaya, mind, manasa, and speech, vak. And we're going to stop there. So going back to the graphic, you'll see that I've got the Sadhana Traya, which he mentions, the 3-tiered practice, body, mind, and speech, and Kriya Yoga, the yoga of actions. He also references Ashtanga, the 8 limbs. And you'll remember, just to review, yama, restraints, niyamas, observances, asana, poses, pranayama, breath control, pratyahara, withdraw the senses, dharana, intense focus, dhyana, meditation, samadhi, oneness. And notice that dhyana and samadhi are states of, which means we arrive there involuntarily as a result of our efforts in the preceding 6 limbs. You'll also notice that the 8 limbs go from the very gross to the very subtle. So the restraints are the easiest to practice. The niyamas are a little harder. The asanas are a little harder. Pranayama is harder, pratyahara is harder, dharana is harder, dhyana is harder. Well, dhyana and samadhi come as a result of they're involuntary. They also build on each other. So the idea is practice the yamas, then the niyamas, then the asanas, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. That said, Patanjali also says practice one of them and it'll lead you to all the others. So there's overlap. So you'll notice that he talks about Kriya Yoga, the yoga of action, right? And action actually covers the first 6 limbs. Those are actions that we can take. And he talks about surrendering our actions to the divinity. That means that we take these actions without any expectation. We do them because they have to be done. As Dharamitra, my guru, often says, we do them because they have to be done. And why do they have to be done? They have to be done because they remove the disturbances on the road to perfect knowledge so that we can successfully engage in our sadhana, our spiritual practice, and achieve moksha, or liberation. So, Iyengar actually references Sutra 2.1 in the Sadhana Pada, the chapter on practice. And so what I've done is I actually put it in here. So you'll see if I open it up, you'll see that, can I move this? Yeah, okay. You'll see right there, 2.1, tapa, right? And I'm going to open up the notes section too. So you see tapa, which is heat, burning, shining, ascetic devotion, a burning desire to reach the perfection, that which burns all impurities, self-discipline. So here you've got, purification through pain a little bit is implied here, right? Svadhyaya, self-study, reflection of one's own self, understanding oneself from the outer sheath, the skin, the body, inwards toward the inner self. And that's pointing toward the practice of the poses, which is the asana. Pranidhanani, or pranidhana, laying on and posing, turning on, directing upon, profound religious meditation, surrender. Now he's moving toward the actual practice of dharana and the result of dhyana. And Kriya Yoga, the yoga of action. Those are individual explanations of those 4 words from the Sanskrit. Putting them all together, Iyengar crafts the following sutra in English: burning zeal and practice, self-study and study of scriptures, and surrender to God are the acts of yoga. And I really believe what, we'll get into this in more detail later, but I believe that what Patanjali is saying is that they're all essential practice. They're all essential acts of yoga. You can't just do one of them if you want to achieve liberation. And why do we want to achieve liberation? Because that's what our souls yearn for. So, I think that's kind of enough for today, something enough to think about. Remember, 3 tiers: body, mind, speech. Body are the asanas. Mind is what we control through the first 6 limbs, and that has an effect on speech. When we control the mind, we control everything. Body and mind are one. Kriya Yoga. We have to take action to achieve yoga. Unity with the divine. Okay. If you guys have questions, write them in the comments section, or email me, or message me on Facebook, or call me. And I'll put up a new edition of this chart. I think the HTML5 version that I put up works sometimes, or for some people, and for others it doesn't work. So I'll put up a fully exploded PDF where all the branches are exploded. You won't be able to contract them again, but you can zoom in on the parts that you want to study. And I also recommend that you buy the book. Alrighty? Cool. Talk to you tomorrow. Namaste.